I need you to understand something before we begin. I am a professional. 23 years with the Bureau. Behavioral analysis, pattern recognition, profile construction. My clearance level speaks for itself. What I'm documenting here is not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. The case file arrived on a Tuesday. Missing person, Emma Caldwell, age 7. Last seen on residential security footage at 11:47 p.m., walking barefoot down Maple Street in her nightgown. No signs of struggle, no screaming. She simply walked out her front door and turned left at the corner. The footage showed her pausing at the intersection, tilting her head as if listening to something. Then she walked toward the old railway overpass and vanished from frame. Her parents were catatonic with grief. The father kept repeating, "She never goes outside alone, never." The mother just stared at Emma's empty breakfast bowl on the kitchen table. I took the case personally. I always do, but this one struck differently. Maybe it was the way Emma looked in her school photo. Gap-toothed smile, braided red hair, holding a stuffed rabbit. She reminded me of Claire, my Claire, who I lost 6 years ago to leukemia. Standard procedure. Canvass the neighborhood, interview potential witnesses, analyze the footage frame by frame. My partner, Agent Torres, handled the family while I worked the technical angle. That's when I found it. 3 frames, barely visible. Behind the chain-link fence near the overpass, a figure. Partially obscured by shadow, but definitely human. Standing perfectly still, watching Emma approach. I enhanced the image once, twice, 3 times. The figure wore a dark jacket. Gray hair, visible even in the poor lighting. The posture was familiar in a way that made my skin crawl. Torres came by my desk that evening. We got something from the parents' doorbell camera. Anonymous package delivered this morning, before we even classified her as missing. She placed an evidence bag on my desk. Inside, a small pink hair ribbon. Emma's, according to the parents. And a note, laser printed, "Stop searching." "No prints," Torres said. "No DNA. Whoever this is knows what they're doing." I nodded, but I was still staring at the enhanced footage on my screen, at the figure by the fence. "You okay?" Torres asked. "Fine, just tired." She left, I stayed. I watched that footage 47 times that night. Each time the figure became clearer in my mind. The build, the stance, the way the head turned slightly when Emma walked past. At 3 a.m. I saw it, really saw it. The jacket the figure wore, I owned that exact jacket. Bought it 8 years ago at a conference in Denver. Distinctive zipper pattern, specific shade of navy that the manufacturer only made for 1 season. Coincidence, had to be. I went home, checked my closet. The jacket was there, hanging exactly where I'd left it. Relief flooded through me. I was working too hard, seeing patterns where none existed. Professional hazard. I slept poorly. Dreamed of Claire in her hospital bed, asking me why I couldn't find her, why I couldn't make her better. The next morning, another package arrived at the Bureau, addressed to me specifically. Torres watched as I opened it in the evidence lab, both of us suited up in full PPE. Inside was a child's drawing, crayon on construction paper, a stick figure girl with red scribbles for hair. Next to her, a taller figure with gray hair. They were holding hands. At the bottom, in a child's handwriting, he says not to be scared. My hands shook as I held it. "Whoever has her is making contact with you specifically," Torres said. "Why you?" "I don't know." But that was a lie. I was starting to suspect. That evening I returned to the overpass alone. I told Torres I needed to walk the route, get a feel for the geography. She offered to come. I said no. The sun was setting as I stood where the figure had stood in the footage. I looked at the fence, the angle, the sight line to where Emma had been walking. I pulled out my phone and took a photo of the intersection, matching the camera angle as best I could. Then I turned the camera on myself. My heart stopped. Same angle, same lighting, same distinctive jacket, because without thinking I'd worn it today. The photo matched the footage exactly. I deleted it immediately. Then I checked to make sure I'd really deleted it. Then I checked again. This was absurd. I was at home when Emma disappeared. I was asleep. My security system would confirm it. Except I lived alone, no alibi, no witnesses. No, this was someone framing me, someone who knew me, who had access to my schedule, my wardrobe, my patterns. I drove home carefully, checking my mirrors constantly. Was I being followed? Was this all part of some elaborate setup? When I arrived home, my front door was ajar. I drew my weapon and cleared the house. Nothing, no one. But on my kitchen table, another drawing. This one showed the stick figure girl in a box. The gray-haired figure stood outside the box, smiling. A speech bubble read, "Soon." I should have called it in, I should have requested backup, submitted the evidence, recused myself from the case. Instead, I burned the drawing in my sink. I was being targeted. Someone was trying to destroy my career, my life, everything I'd built, and I needed to find out who before they succeeded. The investigation continued. Taurus took the lead while I worked background analysis. Really, I was investigating myself, my own life, trying to find the gap, the moment when someone could have gotten close enough to frame me this perfectly. 3 days passed, no new leads, no body, no Emma. Then my phone rang at 2 a.m., unknown number. I answered, breathing on the other end, soft, childlike. "Emma?" I whispered. "He says you need to stop." Her voice was small, frightened. "He says if you stop, I can go home." "Where are you, Emma? What do you see?" "It's dark. It smells like water. He's nice to me, but I want my mom." "I know, sweetheart. I know. Is he there right now?" "He's always here. The line went dead. I traced the call. It bounced through 6 different towers, ultimately originating from my own cell phone. Impossible. I was holding my phone. I had made no calls. This was sophisticated, too sophisticated. Unless I had made the call and didn't remember. No, I was not losing time. I was not having episodes. I was being manipulated. The next morning, Taurus pulled me aside. "We need to talk, privately." We went to an unused interrogation room. "Security footage from the bureau," she said, sliding a tablet across the table. "From 3 nights ago, 11 p.m. The video showed me entering the building, alone. I went to the evidence locker. I removed the hair ribbon from Emma's case. I stood there, holding it, for 17 minutes. Then I put it back and left. I had no memory of this. I pulled your access logs," Taurus continued, her voice careful, measured. "You've been coming here almost every night, sometimes for hours. You never mentioned it." "I'm working the case." "Doing what?" "The logs show you accessing Emma's file repeatedly, but you haven't added any notes, any progress. You just look at her photo." She leaned forward. "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Have you been sleeping? Taking anything for anxiety? Because this behavior, combined with your history, losing Claire—" "Don't," I said. "I'm worried about you. We all are. Maybe you should take some time. Let me handle this case." "I'm fine." "You're not fine, and I think you know you're not fine." I left. I shouldn't have, but I did. I drove without destination, my mind racing. The nighttime visits to the bureau, I genuinely didn't remember them, but security footage didn't lie. Was I having some kind of dissociative episodes, stress-induced blackouts? No, this was still a frame job. It had to be. Someone had access to the security system, was altering footage, manufacturing evidence. But who would go to such lengths? I found myself at the overpass again. It was midnight. I don't remember deciding to drive here. And there, standing under the streetlight in her nightgown, was Emma. Real, solid, not a hallucination. "Emma!" I got out of my car, running toward her. She looked at me with those wide, frightened eyes. "You're him," she whispered. "It's okay, I'm Agent Reeves. I'm here to help. Where have you been? Who took you?" She backed away. "You took me. You're the one who keeps visiting. You bring me food and tell me stories about Claire." My blood turned to ice. I didn't. "You told me Claire would want you to take care of me, that she sent me to you." "Emma, I promise you. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can help you now. Come with me. I'll take you home." She stared at me for a long moment. Then slowly she extended her hand. I took it. Her hand was so small, so cold. "Where have you been staying?" I asked gently as I walked her to my car. "The place by the water, where you kept saying I'd be safe." I opened the back door for her. I'm going to take you to the station now. Your parents are there. They've been so worried. She climbed in. I shut the door and walked around to the driver's side. That's when I saw my reflection in the car window. I was wearing the jacket, the distinctive jacket from the footage. I looked at Emma in the back seat. She was watching me with an expression that wasn't quite fear. It was something else. Recognition. You don't remember, do you? She said quietly. You never remember. Remember what? Finding me, taking me. You do it every time. My hands started shaking. Every time? This is the third time you found me here. The third time you've promised to take me home, but you never do. You take me back to the place by the water, and then you forget, and then you search for me again, and then you find me again, and it starts over. I gripped the car door. That's not possible. You told me, she continued, her voice eerily calm for a 7-year-old, that I look like Claire, that Claire is waiting for me, that she needs me to come meet her first before I can go home. I would never say that, I would never. But even as I said it, I could feel something shifting in my mind. A memory that wasn't quite a memory, more like a dream I'd forgotten upon waking. Me in a concrete space that smelled of mildew and river water. Emma sitting on a sleeping bag drawing pictures. Me bringing her McDonald's, telling her stories about my daughter. My Claire, my beautiful Claire who I couldn't save. You said if you kept me safe, Emma whispered. If you took good care of me, Claire would forgive you for letting her die. No, that was not real. That was not me. You're confused, I said. Someone is making you say these things. Someone who looks like me, maybe, but... Agent Reeves, a new voice. I spun around. Torres stood 20 feet away, her weapon drawn but pointed at the ground. Step away from the car. Torres, thank God I found her. I found Emma. She's safe. I know, we've been tracking your phone. The Bureau has a team surrounding this location right now. That's great. We can take her home now. Agent Reeves, I need you to step away from the vehicle and put your hands where I can see them. The world tilted slightly. What? We found the location. The concrete storage space by the river, your rental property, the one you inherited from your father and never mentioned on your disclosure forms. My rental property. I'd forgotten I even owned it. Haven't thought about it in years, since before Claire. We found her drawings, Torres continued. Food wrappers, a sleeping bag, photos of Claire on the walls, photos of Emma dressed in Claire's old clothes. No, I said. No, someone is framing me. Someone knew about that property. They must have. Your DNA, Reeves. Your fingerprints. Security footage shows you've been going there every night for the past week. We have you on camera purchasing the food found at the scene. We have your internet search history showing you looking up Emma's address, her school, her schedule. I looked at Emma through the car window. She looked back at me with sad, knowing eyes. I'm sorry, she mouthed. This is wrong, I said. This is all wrong. I'm being set up. Someone is manipulating the evidence, the footage, my own memories. Reeves. Torres's voice cracked slightly. I've known you for 8 years. You're a good man. You were. But Claire's death broke something in you. We all saw it, and I think some part of you knew you needed help, but you couldn't accept it. Couldn't accept that you were falling apart. I am not falling apart, my voice echoed across the empty lot. I am solving this case. I am bringing Emma home. You did bring her here, Torres said softly. That's the problem. You brought her here the first time a week ago. Everything since then, the investigation, the evidence, the search, you've been investigating yourself, chasing your own shadow. More vehicles arrived, more agents, all looking at me with mixtures of pity and disgust. No, I said again, but the word felt hollow. Because deep down in a place I'd been refusing to look, I knew. The gaps in time, the nighttime visits I didn't remember, the way Emma looked at me with recognition, not fear. The way I'd convinced myself, some broken part of me had convinced myself, that if I could just save this little red-haired girl, if I could just keep her safe until I figured everything out, maybe Claire would forgive me. Maybe I could forgive myself. I was helping her, I whispered. I was keeping her safe. I know you thought you were, Torres said, I know. They took Emma first, wrapping her in a blanket, taking her to an ambulance. She looked back at me once as they led her away. Then they came for me. As they put the handcuffs on, Torres leaned in close. The Bureau's getting you help, a good facility. You're going to get through this. But I wasn't listening anymore. Because I just realized something that made everything worse. Something that made no sense but felt true in my bones. This had happened before, not just the searching and finding Emma, all of it. The case, the investigation, the discovery, the arrest. This was not the first loop. And somehow, someway, I knew it wouldn't be the last. Because somewhere in my fractured mind, there was still a 7-year-old girl who needed saving. And I was the only one who could find her. I just had to remember where I'd hidden her first.